A massive aircraft crosses the sky. It is 207 feet long, can carry more than 51 tons of cargo, and from the outside, it looks like a giant white whale. This is the Airbus Beluga XL. At Airbus facilities in Toulouse, France, this aircraft is not built like a normal passenger jet. The lower part of the fuselage comes from the Airbus A330, but the upper section is completely reshaped into a massive cargo bay that bulges upward like a whale's head. It looks strange, almost like an aircraft that was designed wrong, but that strange shape is exactly what allows Airbus to move giant wings, tail sections, and fuselage parts from one factory to another. Without the Beluga XL, Airbus production would slow down, and many commercial jets would be much harder to finish on schedule. And that is where the real story begins. How one of the strangest aircraft Airbus has ever built became one of the most important machines behind modern aviation. Before a single large panel is installed, Airbus has already broken the job into hundreds of smaller steps. One team works on the fuselage structure, another handles electrical systems, another prepares hydraulic lines, and another team makes sure every major component arrives on time from different Airbus sites across Europe. Because in aircraft production, one delayed part can push back the entire assembly schedule. And this is where Airbus has a very specific problem. It builds aircraft parts in several countries at once, but all of those massive pieces still have to come together on one final assembly line. The wings for the A350 are made in Broughton, Wales. Some fuselage sections come from Hamburg, Germany. Other major components come from Spain and France. So the question is simple: how do you move parts that large all the way to the final assembly line in Toulouse? An aircraft wing more than 100 feet long cannot just be strapped to a normal truck. European highways were not built to move giant aircraft sections every day. Shipping them by sea is also not ideal because it is too slow, too complicated, and Airbus production cannot wait weeks for one component to arrive. So, Airbus came up with an extreme solution. It built a special aircraft to carry parts of other aircraft. Before the Beluga XL, Airbus had already been using special cargo planes for decades. It once used the 𝗤𝗂𝗃𝗲𝗁, a huge transport aircraft also famous for its work with NASA. Then, in the 1990s, Airbus introduced the original Beluga, known as the Beluga ST, based on the Airbus A300-600. But over time, Airbus needed more space. The A350XWB program brought larger wings, bigger fuselage sections, and heavier components. The older Beluga ST was still useful, but it was no longer enough for the scale Airbus was moving toward. That is when the Beluga XL was born. Officially, the aircraft is called the A330-743L, but its role is much bigger than simply replacing the old Beluga. The Beluga XL changed the way Airbus moves oversized aircraft parts between its factories. To understand why this aircraft matters so much, you first have to understand how Airbus works. Airbus is not just one giant factory where everything is built from start to finish. It's a massive manufacturing network spread across several countries. One site builds wings, another builds fuselage sections, another builds tail components. Then all of those pieces have to arrive at the final assembly line in Toulouse. The problem is simple, but the scale is massive. How do you move aircraft parts that are too large for normal trucks, too awkward for standard cargo containers, and too time-sensitive to send slowly by ship? That is where the Beluga XL comes in. The aircraft was not designed completely from scratch. It's based on the Airbus A330-200 freighter, a proven cargo aircraft. But Airbus heavily modified it. The upper fuselage was rebuilt into a huge cargo hold. The cockpit was lowered so the front cargo door could open wide. The tail and rear sections were modified so the aircraft would remain stable in flight. The build process begins on the standard Airbus A330 production line. The lower fuselage is assembled first, just like a regular A330. This is where the basic structure takes shape, including the frames, panels, and main body that will support the aircraft's systems. But once that lower structure is complete, the process changes completely. This aircraft is no longer treated like a normal A330. The upper body has to be rebuilt into a massive cargo compartment. Parts like the wings, nose section, and cargo door are built separately, then brought to the assembly line and installed onto the main structure. But the most distinctive part is the upper fuselage. That huge whale-like shape is not just one giant panel that gets attached in a single step. It has to be built gradually, frame by frame, until it forms a cargo bay large enough to carry two A350 wings at once. The Beluga XL has 78,000 cubic feet of cargo volume, with an internal diameter of almost 29 feet. In simple terms, it can carry aircraft parts that would be impossible to fit inside a normal cargo plane. But that size also makes the aircraft harder to build. The larger the structure, the smaller the margin for error. If one section is slightly out of alignment, it can create problems further down the assembly line. Inside the Airbus facility, large cranes are used to lift and position heavy components with extreme precision. Some parts weigh tens of tons, and each one has to fit exactly where it belongs. Technicians also use laser measurement tools to make sure every major section is aligned correctly. That precision matters because the Beluga XL is 207 feet long. On something that large, a tiny mistake in one area can become a much bigger problem somewhere else. After the major structure is installed, the work moves into smaller details that are just as important. Rivets and fasteners are added across the outer skin, joints are inspected, gaps are sealed to prevent leaks and protect the surface. This is not just about looks. An aircraft flying hundreds of miles per hour needs a surface that is smooth, strong, and able to handle constant air pressure. Once the structure is complete, the aircraft moves into verification. Sensors are installed at key points to measure stress and load across the airframe. Engineers use that data to confirm that the aircraft behaves the way it was designed to behave. After the fuselage, wings, front cargo door, tail, and nose section are installed, the engines are added. The Beluga XL uses two Rolls-Royce Trent 700 engines, each producing about 316 kilonewtons of thrust. From a distance, those engines can look almost small compared to the huge upper fuselage, but they're powerful enough to lift the aircraft to a maximum takeoff weight of about 500,000 pounds, cruise at around 458 miles per hour, and fly up to about 2,600 miles in a single trip. Once the main structure and systems are complete, the aircraft moves to another facility for finishing. This is where the Beluga XL starts to get the look people recognize today. First, the entire outer surface is cleaned to remove dust, oil, and residue. Then, epoxy primer is applied because it bonds strongly to the surface and helps protect against corrosion over the long term. Technicians in protective suits spray the aircraft layer by layer until the clean white base coat covers the entire metal skin. Then, Airbus adds the whale face. The large eyes and wide smile are applied to the nose using masking and vinyl graphics, making the aircraft look almost like a living character in the sky. But don't let the friendly face fool you. Behind that cartoonish-like smile is a serious industrial machine. The Beluga XL carries critical aircraft parts that help build the next generation of Airbus jets. On July 19, 2018, 5 test pilots sat inside the cockpit of the first Beluga XL in Toulouse and took the giant aircraft into the sky for the first time. On the ground, engineers watched the aircraft's systems closely. They monitored sensor data, checked control responses, and made sure the aircraft stayed stable from takeoff to landing. The first flight was successful, and the Beluga XL officially became part of Airbus's transport fleet. Today, Airbus operates 6 Beluga XL aircraft. These aircraft connect Airbus sites across Europe. They carry wings, fuselage sections, and other large components to final assembly lines. Without them, aircraft like the A320 and A350 would be much harder to assemble on time. But the Beluga XL is only part of the story, because the aircraft it helps build are just as complex as the Beluga XL. Take the A350, for example. This aircraft doesn't come together in one place. Its major parts are built in different locations, then shipped to the final assembly line. The wings are built in Broughton, Wales. Other fuselage sections come from different Airbus facilities in Europe. Once everything arrives, Airbus begins joining these massive sections into one complete aircraft. At the early stage, the fuselage sections are connected first. Then the landing gear is installed. After that, the wings are joined to the body. Engine pylons, tail sections, electrical systems, hydraulic systems, and cabin components are added step by step. It may look like a giant puzzle, but every piece is worth millions of dollars and has to fit with extreme precision. After the major structure is finished, the aircraft enters ground testing. Every system is checked one by one. Flight controls are tested, electrical systems are inspected, hydraulics are activated, cabin systems are installed, engines are prepared. Only after those steps are complete can the aircraft move into flight testing. So, when you see a new aircraft rolling out of a hangar looking perfect, it still has to prove itself before it can be delivered to an airline. Airbus also once built the A380, the largest passenger aircraft ever to enter commercial service. The A380 had 2 full passenger decks, 4 engines, and a size that was massive even by wide-body standards. It was 239 feet long, with a wingspan of almost 262 feet and a height of about 79 feet. That's roughly the height of a 7-story building. In an all-economy layout, the A380 could carry more than 800 passengers, although most airlines used more spacious cabin layouts with around 550 to 555 seats. But the A380 had a different logistics system. Its components were so large that Airbus used a combination of sea transport, river barges, and special road convoys to move parts to Toulouse. So the A380 cannot be explained as if everything depended on the Beluga XL. In fact, this is what makes Airbus so interesting. For each aircraft program, Airbus has to design a logistics system that fits the size and needs of that specific aircraft. On the A380 final assembly line, the cockpit section, landing gear, wings, and huge fuselage sections were joined step by step. The A380 interior was another massive challenge. Because the aircraft had 2 passenger decks, the cabin system was far more complex than a normal airliner. It needed insulation, interior panels, flooring, seats, wiring, entertainment systems, cabin lights, overhead bins, and air distribution systems for passenger comfort. Every seat, every panel, and every connection had to meet strict aviation safety standards. The A380 also used a hydraulic system operating at 5,000 psi, compared with the 3,000 psi systems commonly used on many commercial aircraft. Higher pressure allowed smaller and lighter components to create the same force. That helped cut weight compared with a more conventional hydraulic system. Those hydraulic systems powered flight control actuators, landing gear, wheel brakes, and cargo doors through an integrated network. Once the systems were installed, the 4 engines were mounted under the wings. The A380 could use either Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engines or Engine Alliance GP7200 engines, depending on the airline. After engine installation, the aircraft went through more testing before moving to paint. Even though the A380 is no longer in production, it remains something special. It was proof that humans could build something unbelievably large and still make it fly with precision and safety. But Airbus does not only build commercial aircraft, it also builds the A400M Atlas, a military transport aircraft designed for heavy-duty missions. The A400M was created to replace older aircraft like the Transall C-160 and the Lockheed C-130, while offering more payload, longer range, and better operational flexibility. It can carry cargo, support medical evacuation missions, and in certain configurations, refuel other aircraft in the air. The A400M uses 4 Europrop TP400D6 turboprop engines. Each engine turns a massive 8-blade propeller and produces about 11,000 horsepower. Those propellers are more than 17 feet wide, and the airflow they create is powerful enough to knock down someone standing too close when the engines are pushed to high power. During production, large composite molds help maintain precision and structural integrity through each stage of assembly. Each engine is lifted onto its pylon by crane before technicians complete the electrical and mechanical connections one by one. The A400M carries about 16,765 gallons of fuel in its standard configuration, and extra tanks can be added inside the cargo hold. That allows it to work as a tactical tanker, refueling other aircraft in the air, while still being able to carry troops, evacuate patients, or deliver cargo to short and rough runways. All of those abilities are built into one aircraft, using the same kind of engineering discipline that Airbus applies across its entire production system. From the Beluga XL to the A350 to the A380 to the A400, the pattern is the same. Airbus is not just building aircraft, it is building a system that allows aircraft to be completed on schedule with consistent quality and extremely high safety standards. Every factory has a role, every team has a task, every component has to arrive on schedule. Passengers usually only see the seats, windows, engines, and wings, but before an aircraft ever reaches an airport, it has already gone through a long journey most people never see. Some components fly inside the Beluga XL, some are moved by sea, some travel by special road convoy. Technicians measure panel positions with lasers. Paint crews protect the aircraft's surface layer by layer. Test pilots take brand new aircraft into the sky for the first time. In the end, Toulouse feels almost like a small city built around aircraft. In the morning, a Beluga XL might land with a massive component from another Airbus site. Across the hangar, a new commercial jet might be waiting for its final checks before flight testing. On the production floor, technicians move carefully, following procedures planned down to the smallest detail. This is not just an assembly line, it is a long, disciplined production chain built on precision. From the engineers calculating the structure, to the painters making sure the smile on the Beluga's nose stays clean at 35,000 feet. Every aircraft carries thousands of human decisions inside its frame. So the next time you see an Airbus aircraft at an airport, remember this: before it ever carried passengers across the world, parts of that aircraft may have crossed Europe inside a flying whale.